For years, the New Kids on the Rock have brought joy to the hearts of millions of children worldwide. But even their greatness had humble beginnings. Join me, Kevin James, as we take a step back through time and go into the minds of these three modern-day masters of cinematic accomplishment. Become one of the precious few to witness the New Kids Unrocked. We sat down with the New Kids on the Rock to discuss their very hopes and dreams. Here's what they had to say.
My name is Ryan Murphy. I'm an undergrad at Emmanuel College for English Communication with a minor in philosophy, and I am one of the three members of the New Kids on the Rock.
I'm Neil Ciceriga. I'm in this show called New Kids on the Rock with my friends Kevin and Ryan. I'm smaller, I'm not as weird as Ryan, and I'm not as manly as Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin from New Kids on the Rock.
Time to meet your maker in Korea.
Out of the three, I probably have the most testosterone. I have the more manly blue-collar exploits to my credit. I'm also slightly taller than Neil.
Well, I'm the different one. I do a lot of absurdism, a lot of surrealist work. Usually, like, while the guys are out working, you know, getting the things together, getting props and getting the script, I might be out at night, you know, gathering food.
We met at a local film screening in the back of an Indian food restaurant. No kidding. I was there. We all have a mutual friend, Craig Shannon, who has not appeared on the show yet, but maybe someday. And you know, there's a whole bunch of people at the show, and I ended up sitting near Ryan, and I showed a couple short music videos I had made, and Ryan recognized my music from the internet or something, and I heard him talking about me, and I said, "Oh, hey," and he said, hey, I kind of remember you," and we realized we both went to elementary school together. We both live right down the street from each other, and we used to take the same school bus to school. And he used to have a bowl cut, I used to have a bowl cut.
I met Ryan and Neil back at Kingston Elementary probably 15 years ago. Didn't see them all for a while because Neil became homeschooled, Ryan went to a private school, and I went to vocational school. None of us went to the local public schools. And my last memory of Neil in elementary school was playing checkers with him, and he refused to make any moves. He just kept passing on the checker game. He wouldn't actually move.
Those were the days. And Kevin was at the same movie screening, and we said hey to him. I saw a short film he directed called Shaq Fu, and Kevin came up to me and he said, "Hey Neil, I'm sorry, but years ago you lent me your Ren and Stimpy cassette tape." And I remember this cassette tape because it was orange plastic. And he said, "I'm sorry, I never gave it back, I lost it." I was like, "I don't remember that happening. I remember the tape, but I don't remember ever being friends with you, so why would I have lent you that?"
It was in the summer of 2008 when Plymouth Rock Studios, an exciting new movie studio project, first crossed paths with Neil, Ryan, and Kevin.
Well, I'm Josh Bethany. I work at Plymouth Rock Studios.
I'm Rich Carney. I work here at Plymouth Rock Studios, where I am the Vice President of Rock Media.
When they come up with ideas, I say, "That's cool, why don't you go shoot it?" So I don't know if that's an official title, what would go with that, but.
I first got in contact with Plymouth Rock Studios when Josh and Rich came to Neil Ciceriga's house to do some interviews with some local filmmakers.
They were trying to get some ground here in Plymouth, and they did a public access thing. They aired on public access with interviews from a bunch of locals and a bunch of industry people talking about how great it'll be to have a movie studio here in Massachusetts.
Decided to ask Neil and Ryan and Kevin to make the Hollywoodies newsreel.
And they asked us to make some kind of promotional video for the idea of Hollywood East for Plymouth Rock Studios.
Hey, would you want to make a video to promote the idea of this Hollywood East coming to Massachusetts? And we're like, yeah, sure, we can do it.
Meanwhile, Stanley shopped his new motion picture idea around town, enthralling audiences in the privacy of their own homes. All the while perfecting the art of presentation and entertainment. and making careful note of what best captured their fancy.
After we made our Hollywood East TV newsreel, they liked us so much they kept us on board to do a whole web series, and we've been with them ever since.
Ryan, Neil, and I, after being asked to do the show, sat down and we went, oh, well, we have to figure out a name. And we had a list of probably about 20. And this went on for about 3 weeks.
We came up with a bunch of stuff. A lot of it had swears in it, so we couldn't use it. But there was stuff like the auteurs.
There were the New Rockers.
The 3 filmketeers.
The Reel Pals, like R-E-E-L, like a film reel.
The Cryptozoologists.
Adventures in movie making with Neil and his 2 less famous friends.
The Talking Heads. Taken.
And my personal favorite, Shut Up Murphy. I really liked Shut Up Murphy. I honestly thought we were going to call the show Shut Up Murphy.
Because we figured, that would be like our catchphrase, Whenever Ryan Murphy says something stupid, like he does in real life, one of us would be like, shut up, Murphy,
Shut Up Murphy. Didn't see that one coming.
We really didn't know what to call it. We had an epiphany one day, though, where we thought that, we're young, we're students.
We're fresh. And The Rock, I think, is a metaphor for, just like this old ground we're doing this on, Plymouth. It's, one of the oldest establishments in America.
New Kids on the Rock is basically the 3 of us as new filmmakers, new up-and-coming film students, film enthusiasts, film makers in general, working for Plymouth Rock Studios. We're the new kids at Plymouth.
They came up with the idea of New Kids on the Rock, and I remember they came in and they're like, we have a name, it's New Kids on the Rock. We don't know if we like it, but we're just going to go with that for now. And I remember Rich said to me something like, isn't there a band called New Kids on the Rock? And I said, no, I think it's New Kids on the Block.
There's just something about that combination of syllables and letters that just sounds nice.
And later I looked it up and there was no such band.
Actually, my girlfriend, Emily Grace Mayer, came up with the name. She was with us when we were talking about New Kids on the Rock, and she's the one who actually came up with New Kids on the Rock. Look, she's actually sitting right there.
I'm TJ O'Brien, and I help make films.
TJ has been in 2 episodes, possibly played 2 different characters, kind of up to the audience to just roll the dice on that one, figure that out.
I've been in 2 episodes too, just really small roles, so this is actually probably the longest you'll hear me speak. But I was the Parkler in the Vigilante episode. I helped light that one. And I was also the young marrying husband to Emmy Ciceriga.
We have a tendency to sit around like a campfire or a computer or whatever, and we all just come up with ideas and we bounce off each other.
Most of the stories are based off television tropes from our childhood. We will sit around talking it up. One or the 3 of us will have this idea for a genre or a movie type we want to make fun of or exploit, and then the 3 of us will sit around kind of just throwing ideas out there, and then one of the 3 of us will nominate themselves to write it, and they go from there.
We think back to the 90s. We think of Are You Afraid of the Dark, Pete and Pete, everything we watched on Nickelodeon. Low budget things.
Neil, you just gotta face it. There's no such thing as treasure.
When they're at the Rock and it opens and it's obviously ridiculously not really a door in the Rock, and I think it's Ryan or whatever goes, let's go in it. I don't know why that was cracking me every time.
There it is! Yeah!
Let's go in it!
When the New Kids on the Rock stumble into his lair, in the original script, they actually stabbed him. I think it was like 27 times. And then I think Kevin came in and ripped off the Pilgrim's head and held it up. And I think then Neil took it and stuck it on a spike. I mean, it got pretty good. And then, we toned it down a little to what kind of ended up being in the episode now. But, there was this whole thing of we're in Plymouth, we're trying to build a film community. And I didn't think it was great to, maybe murder a pilgrim in the first episode, but.
Yeah, Old Man Cooper. I love Old Man Cooper just for the absurdity of the things that he's saying. I have no particular vested interest in that
Horrible old house, and that's doom with a capital Oom. Take it from me, Old Man Cooper.
It's just brilliant work. I loved working with him on Visiting. and I really hope I see him a lot more in the future. Dave Pollock.
My favorite is episode 3, The Bully.
Max, funny seeing you here in my house.
Kevin James. More like Kevin Lames.
No.
I had to leave the set every now and then when Max was around. I couldn't look at Max without laughing. So I also think Max is the perfect amalgam of 90s bully jerk.
The acting of Max Pacheco was just superb. He fit the role perfectly. I wrote and directed the episode. It had a bang ending. A bang ending.
Ryan is really fun to write for, because I have a good idea of who he is as a person, and I can picture things that he would do or say, because he says creepy things in real life, and I think he's almost aware of how creepy they are.
Kind of disturbed by the whole hair thing, the bag of other people's hair. I think because you can tell that he wasn't joking.
I can't help but notice that in seemingly every episode he's getting a little bit of a creepier vibe and a creepier vibe.
I'll tell you, the first time I met Ryan, I remember thinking, I probably will never hire that kid ever for anything in my life.
Well, I guess out of every trio, somebody's got to be the Larry.
This experience has taught me a lot about how to work collaboratively. Ryan, Neil, and I, we are all part of the same curve, I think, but we're all different people. Our interests and how we like to do movies. I'm more of like a brick and mortar kind of guy. I like doing things in a very professional setting. Like I'm the guy who likes to do capture logs and stuff. But working with those two guys has taught me a lot more about like how improvisation has its place, but scripts always are a great backbone, that you shouldn't just go completely off the wall.
When I was a kid, I wanted nothing more than to be a new kid on the rock. And now it's like a dream come true. If I could go back in time and tell myself, Neil, someday you will be a new kid on the rock, I wouldn't have believed it. I would have just said, who are you? Why do you look like me, but older?
I have learned how to work under a time schedule. I've learned to work with the tools I have at hand. I've learned to work with much better expensive cameras and with characters who I am fluent with and who I know what they can and can't do. And I know how to get a job done under, what's the word I'm looking for? Under schedule.
No matter how you feel about the new kids on the rock, it's clear that they are going places. No one can deny their influence on popular culture and culture in general. Eons from now, historians will look back at these three geniuses and celebrate them as they would gods. Thank you for joining me, Kevin James, on this marvelous journey through the unprecedented acme of cinematic perfection that is The New Kids on the Rock.